Every day, we buy many things, from clothing, toys, electronics, to things we really need, like food and healthcare. But before buying anything, you may have asked yourself, is this really worth the price? If you think so, then you'll buy it. If not, you'll pass. But if you really need it, you'll pay any price. If you've had these thoughts, then you're thinking like an economist. Economists call this price elasticity of demand. This measures how customers react to changes in prices. Economists determine exactly how much a change in price affects the amount of a good consumers demand through this formula. It's important to note that because demand is downward sloping, the elasticity should always be negative. Often, the negative sign is disregarded and the elasticity is referred to by its absolute value. So, let's use some example numbers. The price of ice cream rose by 15%, and the quantity bought fell by 20%. So, using the equation, we see that the price elasticity of demand is 1.33. Ice cream is elastic, because any good with an elasticity greater than 1 is elastic. Any good with an elasticity equal to 1 is unit elastic, and anything less than 1 is called inelastic. So, let's look at some real-world examples. Chevrolet automobiles have a price elasticity of 4. Chevrolet automobiles are very elastic because they can be substituted easily by other brands of cars. Some factors that affect price elasticity are the number of substitutes a good has, and how dependent you are on that good. Automobiles in the short run are also elastic, with a price elasticity of 1.2 to 1.5. This is a broader category with fewer substitutes as opposed to just a specific brand. Automobiles can still be substituted, though, with things like public transportation, carpooling, or biking, but automobiles in the long run are inelastic. This is because you are more dependent on this specific mode of transportation, which cannot be easily substituted over a long period of time. Some goods, however, are necessary, no matter what the cost. For example, gasoline is inelastic in the short run and the long run, because there are very few, if any, substitutes to gasoline. As a consumer, that means you, there are some goods that are vital to you and me, no matter what the price. Now, let's look at food and healthcare, two things we can't live without. At first glance, you may think food and healthcare are inelastic, and you would be right, except food is more elastic than you might think. Well, why is that? Food is a broad category that covers beverages, fruits, vegetables, grains, and meat. These subcategories are filled with many options of varying prices. For example, fresh fruit is very elastic and easily substituted by a cheaper processed fruit. Because of this variation, something as generic as fruit ranges in elasticity from very elastic, 3.02, to inelastic, 0.16. But healthcare is a different story. Unlike other goods, like the ones we've discussed, the price of healthcare is not affected by consumer demand. Even though prices are high and could bankrupt a consumer, suppliers know that we consumers will pay any price for treatment. We're stuck with the price set by the supplier because there are little to no substitutes for cheaper healthcare or proper treatment. This is why healthcare is inelastic. Let's look at price elasticity of healthcare services. This information was compiled by the National Defense Research Institute. And here's more recent data collected by Mathematica Policy Research, Inc. As you can see, healthcare is consistently inelastic. Healthcare everywhere is inelastic, but the price paid by consumers may vary depending on government regulations. So, as we can see, price elasticity is an important measure of demand, and different goods have different price elasticity. The consumer's choice is either sensitive to price change, such as food, or insensitive, as with healthcare. We hope you've enjoyed this video. Please rate and subscribe and like UNF Honors on Facebook. Links in the description. Swoop!